All right, hello everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Empathic Interfacing Live. So, I was not originally looking to do an Empathic Interfacing Live today, but I was actually just communicating with Athena the other night, and she was recommending that I do an empathic interfacing with her today because she does have some important things to say. 2020 is a very big year. Of course, we had the information from Adronis coming through regarding the levels of contact. It's very possible that we're going to have a lot of contact this year, and of course, it's going to work together with each of us individually. It's not like a quote-unquote global first contact, but it's going to happen to a lot of people. And again, there's different ways about how it's going to come about, as Adronis was talking about in my latest video relating to Adronis special announcements, levels of contact. If you guys have not watched that video, I'd recommend you do, as Adronis has some important information to share about connecting with the chakra centers, the vibratory color ray frequencies, and being able to connect with contacts that are looking to interact with you, or just messages that need to come through that's important, okay? So basically what's happening right now is that we're moving up into a higher octave shift into third density. Again, this is moving into a state of preparation for many of us, and of course, as Adronis explains in the video, that is taking place very ripely right now in January. It's going to kind of go down a little bit in February and then start to diminish a little bit more in March, but it's at its ripest point right now here in January. So again, today we are going to do Empathic Interfacing Live. I am going to be bringing in Athena and bringing her in to share some insight with all of us today. I know you guys have some questions as well too. We'll look into those also. But of course, before we kick off the broadcast, I do have some announcements to share. So again, I'm going to be in Florida this coming, or next week I should say, between January 10th and January 12th. So I'm going to be having Adronis come through on the Friday evening on January 10th at the Codes of Awakening. It's a metaphysical intensive weekend in Spring Hill Suites, Orlando, Florida. Okay, if you guys want more information on this, and if you're in the Florida area, just go to the website. It's empoweredlight.com. Once you get to empoweredlight.com, just go under events and you'll see the Codes of Awakening event there, and just click on that and you can order tickets. Okay, I will also have some healing code cards with me as well too. So I don't have that many. I only have about a dozen of them. So it's kind of a first come, first serve for those that are there. But again, you guys are going to enjoy Adronis. And of course, on the weekend, I will have a Spirit Ambassador workshop. So you guys are going to be learning a lot more about interfacing with spirit, connecting with spirit, working with instant healing, and a lot more. So again, that's Codes of Awakening happening next week, the weekend after next year. Again, in Orlando, Florida, in the Spring Hill Suites. For more information and get your tickets, go to empoweredlight.com. My buddies John D'Souza and Jason Quitt are also going to be joining me as well too with their exciting presentations also. Okay, and healing code cards. Okay, so the cards are available right now at a discount rate of $44.99 Canadian from the original $49.99 as they're regularly priced. This discount ends this coming Monday before midnight. So again, if you have not grabbed your healing code cards yet, or if you want to grab another deck, now is the time to do it. This is just a pre-order campaign. My next batch of cards should be coming no later than January 24th. So that is when the card decks will be here at my place, and then I'm going to start getting them ready for orders, or shipping them off, I should say. Not getting them for orders, getting them ready for delivery. So again, that's happening right now, this pre-order campaign, and this discount ends this coming Monday before midnight Pacific time. Okay, so make sure you grab your cards, healingcodecards.com. Again, it's within about the last 48 hours, I have almost about like half the volume of the cards already sold out. So I mean, they are going like hotcakes. So again, if you have not grabbed your cards, go to healingcodecards.com and take advantage of the pre-order campaign that's happening right now. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and bring in Athena here momentarily. I know there's been quite a few comments here on the chat regarding Australia. Now, again, if you guys have not, if you're not able to see my Facebook, I've talked about this on Facebook, okay? Guys, Australia is not a natural occurrence. It is not a natural fire that's happening. This is the result of directed energy weapons. Okay, these are DEW satellites. It's exactly what's happened. Do you know why? Because Australia has refused to participate in the elitist agenda. Because they have backed out, the elitists said, oh, okay, you're going to back out, so we're going to fire these directed energy weapons satellites at your country and basically engulf your country in flames because you backed out. This is what they did to Japan back in 2011, only instead of directed energy weapons, they used nuclear devices to create artificial earthquakes. Okay, so they did this to Japan back in 2011. They did this to Haiti as well too. They've done this to several different countries that won't play ball with them. That says, we want nothing to do with you. Oh, okay, well then we're going to be, the sniveling cowards that we are, and we're going to use directed energy weapons at your country. They only have that particular type of technology left because so many other forms of technology that they once had have been confiscated. They actually only have a couple of these DEW satellites left. A lot of them have been confiscated, but there's still some in their possession. And so this is exactly what's been happening since maybe around November, I think, October, with Australia. Okay, it's directed energy weapon attack. No, guys, it's nothing to do with a solar flash. It's nothing to do with ascension symptoms. Those are excuses, guys. That there has no particular form of resonance in regards to what's actually happening with the country. Okay, this is an elitist agenda, and they basically said, nope, we're not going to participate anymore with that. We're standing back. We're moving away from that elitist agenda. We're opposing it. And so as they're opposing it, then that makes them a threat. And so this is exactly what's happened with Australia. Okay, it's directed energy weapons satellites. And this is what has caused these fires. Look what happened with California, right? A lot of what happened with California fires was all directed energy weapons satellites. Okay, it's the exact same thing that's happened to Australia. Okay, so what you guys want to do is not just put an intention out for rain. You actually want to connect with spirit and create a sphere, a veiled sphere around Australia, a spirit sphere, okay? And you want to fill that with love, with compassion, with security, and helping to awaken and assist consciously, telepathically, empathically with the people of Australia so that they can take the matters into their own hands and put out these fires. Everybody in Australia should be involved in putting out these fires. Do not just leave it to firefighters. Go in there and start doing what you can as a community, as a group effort, to come together and put out all these fires. Okay, that's really what this intention is here. It's like California, right? California had that. Even where I lived in BC, a while back, we had a lot of fires around us as well, too. Some of them may have been DEWs, some of them may have just been natural occurrences in that way, but nonetheless, that had happened here in British Columbia. So again, we all come together. We all share in this. We are all doing our part to put these fires out because these are all created by immature psychopaths, right? That have this particular type of weaponry. And if you're not with them, then they're going to do everything they can to basically obliterate you. Okay, and that's exactly what's happened with Australia, like what's happened with Japan, like what's happened with Haiti, and many other countries that have said no to the elitist agenda. Okay, so that is exactly what's been happening with the nature of Australia. I know there's been a lot of people. If I don't comment on this, I'm going to have about 50, 60, 70, 80 people saying, Brad, did you hear about this? What do you have to say? Brad, did you hear about this? What do you have to say? Guys, my opinions don't mean a shit. Okay? And I mean that very literally. It's not important what I think. When I bring all this information to you guys, it's spirit's information. Okay? So I don't care about my opinion. My opinion doesn't matter. It's an ego-based opinion. Brad doesn't matter. Right? I bring this information through spirit, and that's what matters. That's what's important. But I get a lot of people ask me, Brad, what's your opinion of this? What's your opinion of that? Stop worrying about my friggin' opinion. It's not important, right? It's about spirit's information, and that's not an opinion. That's a perspective. When I've talked about 2037, 2038, not my opinion, right? That is spirit perspective. So I give spirit perspective on these things. But it's not important about looking at what my opinion is, right? I'll share this information if it needs to be shared. When Spirit says, okay, Brad, you need to turn on the camera, you need to share this information, and I go ahead and I do that. But I'm not really too concerned about what my opinion is or what other people's opinions are. I couldn't care less, right? So we look into spirit, and spirit gives us great clarity, great insight about what's taking place, and now we're utilizing that information to put ourselves to work, to do what needs to be done, to bring about a solution altogether. That's what's important, okay? And now when I basically give this insight to people, they dwell so much on the what ifs. Well, what if this happened? How could this happen? Maybe blah, 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 blah. And we spend the next several weeks, several months, several years debating about this to death while this is still happening. Don't do that, right? So you're getting a basic idea about what's happening here. You understand it's elitist agenda. You realize, again, this is exactly what happens whenever you have these particular disasters that just seem too unnatural. Then you know that that's basically an elitist plot. Okay, that's exactly how it works. These are false flags. That's what happens. So again, we're coming together. We're doing our part together as a people. The people of Australia come together, work together to put out the fires. Don't just rely on your firefighters. Don't just rely on other things, on other branches of government to try and do that, because a lot of your government has actually been letting this burn for a long time. And you guys are sitting back and letting this happen. No, don't do that. Take action. Come together. Work together as a collective. Work together as a large community. Forge ideas together. Make it happen, because together you can help. A lot of people on the other side of the world are really happy to help, when this happens. But it's very important that the people that are there are doing their part, because they're there, right? And they're going to help in the best way that they can. And through community and through the collective, that is going to happen the most. So that, again, is what can be shared relating to this situation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and start bringing in Athena. I just wanted to share that with Australia because, like I said, people have been banging down my door asking about that. And so that's why I made a Facebook post about it the other day. It's important for people to be aware of this. Again, spiritual perspective, spiritual insight coming through. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Athena in just as I did last time. And again, many of you are going to have an opportunity to communicate with Athena as well too, as we have done in previous empathic interfacing lives. Okay, so the reason why I'm showing you guys how to connect with Athena is I encourage you guys to work with her. Okay, you're basically working with her astral form, her astral body, and she can handle a multitude of people in that particular state, because that's how I work with Athena as well too, is through her astral body. So, just as before, we're basically going to be doing the 3 tiers of connection, okay? So that's what we're going to start off with, but first we're going to get into grounding meditation, okay? So if you guys are in your house or wherever you are, see if you can find a seat somewhere. If you can sit down, that's good. And just placing your feet firmly upon the ground. And we're just going to take 3 deep breaths in, 3 deep breaths out, okay? So inhale. Exhale. Once again, inhale. Exhale. And one more time, inhale. Exhale. Okay. And just placing your hands upon your heart right now, and I just want you to feel as if roots are coming out through the bottom of your feet and connecting deeply into the earth. And you're feeling those roots going deeply into the earth as this brown energy now starts to move through the roots and coming in through your feet, connecting up to your ankles, moving this brown energy up into your knees, up into your hips, and connecting directly around the root chakra at the base of the spine. And again, this brown energy is just slowly starting to rotate itself upwards and around the chakra centers. So past the root chakra, up around the navel chakra, orange color. Moving up and around to the solar plexus chakra, yellow color. Moving up and around the heart chakra, or the thymus gland, green color. Moving up and around the throat chakra, the thyroid, aquamarine color, or sky blue. Moving up and around the third eye chakra, ocean blue, the pineal gland. And moving up all the way to the top of the head, violet chakra, connecting directly to both the pineal and pituitary glands. And now I just want you to take a deep inhale from your belly, right up to the crown. Exhale, opening up the crown, feeling rainbow light coming out through the crown and cascading down your body. going all the way down to the bottom of your feet, and bringing that rainbow energy directly into the perineum, located in between the genitals. Okay, and now just feeling the toroidal field around you, slowly starting to rotate, counterclockwise, soft and subtly. And don't worry if you're not able to see the entire rainbow light spectrum, just feel very soft, very subtle. The rotation, counterclockwise, of your torus field, your toroidal field. Okay? And as you feel that connection, you are now fully grounded to the earth, and you are now ready to receive spiritual energy. Okay. So we're going to move on next into connecting with Athena. So again, as you see here in the Empathic Interfacing Live poster, you'll see a rendition of Athena. No, I did not actually go into the Delphi underground and take a picture of her. Okay, this is just a rendition of Athena. She looks very, very similar to this image of this woman. The only difference is that her eyebrows are a little bit more lighter colored. But this is, again, a very good rendition of Athena. And she smiles a lot. She's not so droopy face there. But I just want you to get an impression of Athena. So again, they very much look very albino in that way. Okay, they're like an albino kind of human. Very white hair, kind of whitish eyebrows, pink, kind of like pinkish or blood-colored eyes in that way, very red. But again, the albino kind of look, okay? And so I just want you to create an image of Athena looking something like her, and just seeing her within your mind, okay? Because we are going to connect with Athena together. All right, so let's go ahead and get into that meditative state now. And again, if you want, you can place your hands upon the center of your chest, or you can place them on the lap. You can put them in prayer position, whatever you feel is suitable for you. Okay, so I'm now just going to take a moment to connect with Athena, and I'm seeing her right now. She's smiling wildly at me in this space of white light. Okay, so it's like a realm of white light to where she is just sitting here by herself. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to open up our heart, okay, just like a door. Just imagine like your heart is like a door, and you're just seeing this tether coming out of the door, okay? That tether is now connecting directly to her heart, as a tether is now coming out of her heart and connecting directly with yours. So we are now tethered from the heart together, and this is what begins the empathic interfacing process. You want to tether your heart cord to her heart. She is going to tether her heart cord to your heart, okay? And again, we're now going to start off with the 3 tiers. The 3 tiers just represent 3 levels of love, okay? First tier represents that of our own personal love. So I just want you to think of a very, very happy thought, something very joyful, something that you really appreciate within your life. Maybe it's somebody that you appreciate. Maybe it's something that you have done, something that really brings a lot of love and joy to your heart. I just want you to take a moment and just fill your entire being with that personal love, that personal feeling of joy. And I ask Athena now, Athena, I am completely in the alignment of my full personal joy. Do you join me in this feeling? Yes. Okay. She's nodding her head, saying yes. Okay. So she joins us in the full alignment of our personal joy. So very good. So now we're going to move on to the second level, or the second tier. And this represents universal love. Okay. So I just want you to imagine that your mind is just going throughout the entire cosmos. You're seeing every star, you're seeing every planet, you're seeing the galaxies, and you're just feeling all of this love radiating throughout the entire galaxy, through all these galaxies, throughout the entire universe, and just feeling like these aspects of light beings are coming around you and just surrounding you with this pure loving energy, and you're just absorbing all of that in. Okay, so it's the universal love tier. And we're just feeling that great love and great appreciation, that great joy and bliss in our hearts. And I ask Athena, again, I am one with the universal love energy. Athena, do you join me in this universal love energy now? Yes. Okay. Third, we are now moving into the super consciousness love, okay? The love of God in that way, the love of the divine, the love of the Creator. This is the third tier now. So I just want you to feel that pure creatorship. I want you to feel that connection to God. I want you to feel that pure, divine, loving path. that you are now one in this moment with God. You are now one in this moment with the Creator. You are beyond that idea of Christ consciousness. You are in complete and total Creator consciousness right now, standing next with your parent, holding their hand, and feeling that love of God all around you and within you. Athena, I stand completely in the light of my Creator consciousness. Do you stand completely within the Creator consciousness with me? Yes, she says. Okay, very good. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And we are now connected with Athena because she has met us at all three of these tier levels of love. And so now I'm going to connect with Athena's heart through this tether and just see what she has to share with us today. Okay, so what she is sharing with me right now is that she's letting me know, and she's letting us know, that there are many inner earth representatives that are now ready to make personal contact with many of their human liaison family. Okay, so basically the family of humanity, there are liaisons that have already been chosen through spirit to connect much in the association together with the inner earth family. Okay, this is not just the Delphi, this is also other races that are coming together. There are insectoid races, some of them are mantis, some of them are ants, or antoid beings, I guess you could say. Some of these insectoid races may start to communicate with you. Okay, there are Sasquatch races that are coming forward and they are ready to communicate. She says there's been a large gathering. This has been happening for several years. There has been many different gatherings of even your ancestors that are still in spirit, that are now ready to openly communicate and connect with you. You have entered a crucial period to be alive right now. Okay, so she says that you're going to have a very strong appointed liaison that is now going to start communicating with you. And this is what Adronis was also talking about, relating to the levels of contact. The more that you continue to do this, you're going to notice that you're going to become familiar with certain liaisons that are going to start working with you. Your guidance will enhance. Your guidance will become a lot more stronger. It's going to allow more of these beings, more of your liaisons to become a part of your life, because there's a lot of cleaning up that we have to do. A lot of this is for internal work. A lot of this is also guides coming through, helpers coming through to aid others also. There are certain forms of plans that need to be done upon the surface, and this is going to come through what Adronis has talked about as the levels of contact, is you're going to get these particular forms of errands that need to be taken care of. This may involve blessing your space. This may involve taking certain forms of emotions and clearing them with love. This may involve anchoring yourself a lot more into the earth. This may involve actually attending meetings in the astral plane as you sleep, and you will actually have recollection of these meetings coming forward. There is a great cleanup happening upon the earth right now. Just like what's happening on the moon, just like what's happening on Saturn, Earth is now next. There is a very large contingency plan to completely bring a great contingency of new workers moving up into this next threshold, which Adronis has referred to as the next octave. This is happening. And as this happens, you're going to receive a lot more information by moving yourself up into this next threshold. 2020 into 2021 is going to be a membrane crossing. You're going to be crossing yourself into this threshold. It is going to happen a lot this year, and it's going to move on into next year as well, too, 2020 and 2021. And so 2021, from our perspective, will be the year of the threshold. And what that means is that you're crossing this threshold, you're moving into this new space, and you're now receiving a great deal of information, of insight, of interaction, together with other beings that are helping you in spirit, helping you on the astral levels. And we want to invite many of you to be our personal liaisons, from what Athena is saying here. She wants us to basically kind of step up, and there's just going to be information together. Now, you are able to use this information any way you wish. Nothing is being forced upon you, but we are looking for volunteers. We have many of my... hang on. Okay, there's many other Delphi that are actually starting to come into the circle here in this white light. There are as many representatives that are here for you just from the Delphi alone, okay? Or Delphi. Either way, she doesn't mind that I call them the Delphi, even though the Greeks would refer to them as the Delphi. But again, there's a lot of volunteers here within the Delphi that are actually able to interact with you, okay? So some of you will actually be personally invited to the Delphi, okay? Now, this will often be in dream time. This is not going to be a physical invitation, but many of you are going to be called in to go to the Delphi. Many of you can even just request to come here. We will work with you, we will prepare you, and you will be able to explore the Delphi. You will be able to explore other inner earth sanctums as well too. Inner earth sanctuaries, inner earth cities. Because many of us are now coming together, and there is a consortium of assistance that is taking place right now. There are many groups, there are many different forms of organizations, you could say, different forms of hierarchies as well too, that are now going to start interacting with humans on the greater level. The point to where there has been a great deal of assault on your planet, a great deal of tyranny happening upon the surface of this planet is going to come to an end. And this is where many of you are required to bless your space, to work together with simple tasks, to assist others, to actually clear away a great deal of debris that you will find in others. Spirit will show you how to do this. Your liaisons will show you how to do this. A lot of it is just coaching others using breath work and softness and simple words to clear away a great deal of harsh debris that people have upon the surface of their minds. You are going to be called forward to do this. This is the year where the ground workers are needed the most. The ground crew is going to be put into full-time work in 2020 and 2021. The year, as you say, of exposure and the year of the threshold, 2021. So this is where you are now crossing, because the actual start of your decade starts in 2021. It doesn't just start in 2020. 2020 is, again, still just part of that, as you would say, day zero that's moving into the first year of the decade. So you are now moving into this crossing. It is a year of clarity. It is a year of exposure. It is a year of great foundation. It is a year of a call to action. And we want to be here with many of you. We want to let you know that you are not having to do this alone, that you are having help. But again, it's for those who have done a lot of their work in the past. If you are very new to what we are saying, this will not make sense to you. It's not to say that you can't be involved, but you need to do a lot more of your own inner work. We are actually going to be calling upon more of the experienced ones. Okay? So this is, again, very, very important. Okay, this is what Athena is sharing with me. If you're very new to this and you don't know what's going on, odds are you're not going to be called. Okay, this is basically that there are certain workers that have already reached a level of heightening within themselves. They've already done a lot of work upon themselves. They're doing a lot of self-improvement, self-empowerment. They're helping out other people. These are the ones that are basically going to be called, okay? So like I said, if people are just tuning into this and saying, oh, what's this guy talking about? What's this about inner earth, blah, blah, blah. That's not for you, okay? Go to another video in the best way I can put it. This is for experienced people, okay? So again, this is why Adrona says not everybody is going to have this message, but many are. I feel that we've actually already crossed a threshold, and I think that we've already reached the point where the workers have already been decided, and that those who have not done their work may have missed their chance, okay? I can't say that they have missed their chance for fourth density, but I feel that they have missed their chance for an opportunity like this because they have not done their work, or they're very new to this in that sense. It's not to say that they can't be helped, but they would really not be the ones that would be included in this task. It's those who have been doing this for the past several months, for the past several years, and they've taken this very seriously, and they're doing the work. The time is now, okay? We've basically now have officially entered the point of no return. So you can't go back now, right? If you've done your work, you started to work on this, you're taking this very seriously, you're helping other people, you're working with yourself, you're helping out with nature, you're doing all this great work, you're now here at this threshold. You can't go back now, okay? That world that is all about the aspect of fear and distress and everything pertaining to a five sense reality in regards to people living in that fear, sadness, and anger. That's not your world anymore. Okay, so now it's about the idea of finally kind of cutting the cords to that world and moving forward in this way, because now we're going to work on other people who are doing the work but still need a bit of a boost. Okay, this is kind of what it's feeling right now. We've already entered the point of no return. So that has really started to happen here in 2020. 2021 is this crossing of the threshold. So there's a bridge that's happening here, like crossing a membrane in that particular way. Okay, there's going to be certain people that you guys are not going to be able to help. Okay, you have to realize that. You can do what you can. You go where you're called. But if people are very new to this and they don't know what you're talking about, you basically just have to kind of wish them well and let them go on their own particular journey. We have really reached a point of a crossing of a threshold, a crossing of a point of no return. And this is what Athena is basically sharing with me right now. Okay, so I will take some questions here, and either myself or Athena will provide some insight here. So I'm just going to kind of scroll up a little bit up the list. Okay. Okay. Okay, here's one from Claudette. Claudette says, before we incarnate, we chose the experiences we wish to have. What about the dark ones? Does it work the same way? I know we are all one, and they are part of Source as well. Any clarification? Athena says they are working out a great deal of karmic debt that has been upon them for many generations of time, for many ages. Many of these dark ones have actually been contracted to come back into the earth and have not been permitted to go anywhere else. Every time that they leave the earth, they incarnate into another dimensional earth, and they're still following the cycles of incarnation, because that is all part. They have basically caused a great deal of chaos upon the planet. And in doing so, they are going to come upon the earth again and incarnate into similar situations like what they're working off right now. Or not really working off. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But they're continuing to work on and incarnate more and more so that they can actually face the music of what they have been doing for many generations. Right? And the idea of having kings and queens and rulers and empires and mistreating other people and making other people suffer and killing others and creating genocide, all of that. All of those beings have been allowed to come back again and again and come back into those positions of power, so that when the time where the jig is up, that they are now facing the music and the fear that they are encountering is overwhelming, right? Because now people are waking up, they're becoming much more aware about what's happening. There's other people within their positions of power that want to stab them in the back. They're being betrayed, their empires are falling apart, and this is the greatest duress, the greatest fear, the greatest angst that they have ever experienced. So that's exactly what's happening, as you would refer to as the dark ones. A lot of them, again, just do not know what they do, right? It goes back into the Jesus quote, forgive them for they know not what they do. But they continue to cycle back upon this planet because there's so many cords that they have cut. There's so many different forms of involvement that they've placed themselves into, and they have to face the music. Right? When you are doing something like that, running empires and causing so much pain for other people, you're going to say, okay, you're going to go back again. You're going to go back again until the end of this age comes. Okay? So that's kind of like the spiritual rule in that way. I don't really like to use the word rule, but you can refer to it as a law. Is that if a person is constantly manipulating another, hurting another, harming another, killing others, etc., they stay in a particular form of, you could say, dense boundary. And they are always being brought back over and over and over again because they represent an antagonist. And they're being told, yeah, you'll be able to run these empires, you'll be able to do all these things, but you're going to face the music at the end of this age. And once you face the music at the end of the age, you know, I wouldn't even want to see what happens with them relating to the consequences of their actions, because it's just them putting themselves to their greatest levels of hell in that way. And of course, there really is only just a heaven, but again, we put ourselves through the hell, through the power of our thoughts, the power of our feelings. And that's exactly what these people are doing. So yeah, they continue to come back again. The angels come and collect them when they die. And again, they have to face the nightmare of these situations that they have put themselves through, because antagonists are part of the game here. It's part of the learning. It's part of the lessons that we have come here to graduate from, right? You need your antagonists, and these are the beings that are doing that. And of course, they are going to face deeper turmoil than many of us, and they're going to have to face that music a great deal. I couldn't even, like I said, I couldn't even imagine what they're going to have to go through afterwards. It's not going to be pretty in any particular way, but they're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of years to atone themselves. Okay, the next hundreds of thousands of years, because they will incarnate again, maybe on other planets or something of that nature, or different, deeper dimensional Earths. They're going to basically go through a lot of torturous situations, right? It's like I've talked about with people that have these certain degrees of life karma, is that they leave the earth and they look at their life review and they realize they have to make amends, and they decide to go back because they want to try to make an amends, and that they spend a lifetime in great poverty. Well, these guys that have basically been responsible for the killing of hundreds of thousands or even millions of people are going to be spending hundreds of thousands or even millions of years working off karmic debt, which would be worse than the idea of having an impoverished life. So, like I said, it's not like you're just going to get off scot-free when you're doing all that. The universe does not forget this, right? If you are completely out of alignment, you are completely imbalanced, you got to work all off that pile of debt that you have put on yourself. It's like a bill collector, right? The bill comes due. Every single moment that you are creating harm towards another person, that you're hurting innocents, that you're killing people, right? And they're going to be spending the next hundreds of thousands or even millions of years in great torment, basically trying to work off this karmic debt, because they have to feel what they have put every single other person that they have hurt through. People that they know, people that they're vaguely familiar with, people who they do not know. That person is going to face every single aspect of what they have done to those people. I can't imagine that. I really can't. It's not a pretty thought. Okay. Athena says, yes, nothing goes left unpaid. Right. That's kind of Athena's comment there. Nothing goes left unpaid. It goes back to what Jesus says, right? As you sow, so shall you reap. That's exactly what's going to happen with them. So, like I said, it's not going to be a pretty situation with them whatsoever. Okay. Lord says, is this happening so that people can get together and work together? Is this part of the big plan? Yes, she says, but it's also a higher plan, you could say, from what Athena is saying. Each of you are coming together in a collective union so that you can work on higher levels to repair this planet. Okay, that is from Athena directly. Okay, each of us are coming together in these higher unions to work together to create a higher transformation, a higher healing taking place on this planet. So that is exactly why we're all coming together right now. We've been coming together now for quite some time, but there is like a closer union, a deeper bond, almost like a greater intimacy with a lot of these workers who have spent months, years, many years working together in this way. And now that we have started to enter into this new decade, this is it. We got to put the pedal to the metal, right? We got to put our nose to the grindstone. And this is a year where we really, really, really got to work. With a lot of you guys that are on my channel, okay, here's something that you really need to pay attention to. You don't need my advice, okay? You have already gotten a great deal of clarity from your guides, from your helpers, from God, from everything about what you're here to do. But you are still very much in conflict between two worlds. You're going to now have to choose one world over the other. That's where you are right now. And that's why these messages are coming through. You got to finish cutting off these tethers to this old paradigm system that has nothing to do with you anymore, and you have to do it this year. Okay? You have to do it this year. If you don't, you're going to have a hard time getting that over that threshold starting into 2021. Okay? This is why you're getting so much help, so much guidance. Athena's nodding her head this, and that's exactly it, right? So you got to clean out your crap. You got to take out that debris. You got to cut away all of this debris relating to an old paradigm where you're worried about this, you're worried about that, you're worried about your finances, you're doing these old jobs that you don't prefer. If you're really not doing what you don't love, you're not really getting the idea here. You got to cut all of that out. You got to know that if there's a family member or if it's a partner that in that sense is bullying you or causing any particular form of strife or conflict, you have to deal with that. You've been putting that off for too long. You have to be respectful for the path that you have chosen. And that is exactly what's happening right now. You got to cut out these cords. You got to walk this new path, right? You cannot choose two Earths to work with. You cannot choose an old paradigm Earth and a new paradigm Earth. No, it's one or the other. You got to make a choice right now. You either stay with the old paradigm Earth this year, or you go to the path that leads to a new paradigm Earth this year. Time's up. Okay? So this is where you have to make that choice. This is where you have to make that decision. This is why there's been so much demand, like from Adronis, for me to come in and start talking about the levels of contact. Athena really wanted to talk to you guys today. And Athena considers me kind of like a liaison for the Delphi people as well too. And she wants to help a lot of you out, but you guys have to be willing. You have to cooperate here. You have to listen, really pay attention with what you're still tethered to that represents an Earth that you don't even prefer. If you do not cut the cords this year, you're pretty much going to be stuck with that Earth. Okay? You got a lot of work to do this year. So you want to continue to cut off those old cords. You want to settle these old situations that are happening. And then one of the first questions I'll get, Brad, how do I do that? Guys, I've spent hundreds of videos telling you how to do this. BCR technique, for one example, okay? Working with the vibrational templates, working together with the silver lining agreement, okay? Working with light circuitry attunements. All these things, I've told you guys how to do it. You got to start putting it to work. No more questions. No more. You know what to do. You're just being hesitant, because it's kind of like you're by a door here and you're just waiting and you're looking at your watch and saying, oh, is my grandmother going to come? She's not really moving that quickly. How about my partner? How about my kids? How about this? How about that? You're just hanging around a doorway waiting for other people to come, and they're not coming. You say, why aren't you guys coming with me? I can't move through this other door unless you guys start walking with me. Guess what? They may not walk with you, right? Many of you are holding out for your family, for your friends, for other people you care about, and you think that they're going to walk the same path that you are. No. They are going to walk their own unique path. And you are holding yourself back because you feel you have to depend upon them. You have to let them through the door first, and then you'll follow them right from behind. Guess what? Not going to happen. Okay, you guys have to really start taking this seriously. If you do not do this year, you're going to miss a train. You're going to miss a plane. You have to put this into deep seriousness. Take this seriously. Don't dick around with this. Okay, and I'm being a little blunt with you guys, but I'm saying this because this is extremely important. Okay, if you're messing around, you're fooling around with this, oh yeah, okay, whatever Brad says, blah, blah, blah. It's not what I say. Right? This is exactly what is coming through spirit. This is what's coming through your guides. This is what's coming through your higher self. This is what's coming through your soul. You got to get your act together right now and start doing this work and start working together. If you want to move into a new paradigm, you got to get cracking. You're almost out of time. All right? And this year is pretty much the point where you're out of time. There's going to be people that are going to shift to this particular octave like Adronis was talking about. It's kind of like a special octave. But there's kind of like another natural octave that's happening at the end of the year as well too. And Adronis is trying to get us to move into this higher octave sooner so that we can do a lot more work, so we have a little bit more time to stretch ourselves out to do some extra work. And Athena's nodding with that as well too. Okay, so this is very, very important. This is the time now where we have to really take everything that we have learned, take everything that we understand, and that it really is all about the alignment of love, the power within ourselves, and putting it together. If you guys do not do this work, you are going to stay with the earth that you don't prefer. Simple as that. It's not a threat, okay, in any particular way. I'm not saying you have to do this or else, but that's just the way the times are going, right? This planet is really looking at many versions of itself coming together that we have access to go into right now, right? Different domains, excuse me, different domains that we have the ability to go into right now. And we have to do our part. We have to do our work. You got to stop thinking that other people are going to do this for you. Okay? I'm not here to do this for you guys. I'm here to help you guys. I'm a messenger, but I'm not here to do all this work for you. Okay? You have to do this. I've been doing my inner work, And believe me, it's been quite a challenge. But I feel myself moving into that next level because I take this seriously, right? I haven't been involved in the spiritual work for as long as many of you have. I've been talking to you guys who have been involved with this since the day that you were born, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And you're still struggling. Why? Because you're depending on other people. You want other people to go ahead of you through that door before you go, right? I'll just follow you guys from behind. Nope. You have to make a decision now. This is where we are. We have now crossed this boundary where we're now going to enter a new threshold. And this is exactly what Athena is saying. So please take this seriously, guys. I cannot emphasize that as much as I am right now, okay? Okay, let me scroll down the list here. Okay. Someone says, does this mean I need to leave my 3D job? Is your 3D job bringing you happiness? Is it bringing you joy? Or are you just using it for a paycheck? Okay, guys, I've talked about this before. You guys talk about a 3D job. What does that even mean? A job in third density? Well, what? We're in third density. What's a 3D job mean? Well, maybe it means something that I really don't like the work. I don't really like the way I'm being treated, but I'm just doing this for a paycheck. So is that a divinity to yourself? Is that something that you really enjoy? Well, no, Brad, I don't really. Then why are you doing it? Maybe that's saying that you're not come to terms with your value. You're not coming to terms with who you feel you are. You're not seeing yourself in great worth. You don't feel that you deserve to do something that makes you happy. So what is that telling you? That is a trauma. What trauma are we talking about here? That I've talked about over and over and over and over and over again. That means it's rejection, right? You need to work with that. Why do you guys voluntarily allow yourself to continuously suffer over and over and over again? Why do you do that? Answer that question to me. I'd really like to know that, okay? Because this is even what I hear from a lot of different beings as well, too. It says we don't get how these humans come down to this planet and voluntarily make things worse than it really is. Why do you guys do that? I don't get it. Right? That's the mentality. So can you guys answer that question for me? Why do you guys make yourself voluntarily suffer? Why do you make your suffer so absolute and thinking that love is so beyond your grasp? Answer that question. I'd like to know, right? Because if you're constantly doing that and you can't even answer that question, then again, you're putting so much energy towards something that you don't even know what it is. You know you don't like it. You know it's not a part of yourself, so why are you doing it? Right? It's kind of a catch-22 situation here. You can do anything you want to do on this planet. Absolutely. And I mean that very literally. I didn't think I was going to do this kind of work, right? Many years ago, this was never on my agenda to get into energy healing, to be a channel, to develop my spiritual work. I had nothing of that intention whatsoever. I never thought I'd be involved with something like this. And here I am, and I can't imagine a day without it, right? That is showing you guys you have the ability to become whatever you want to become. If you are simply putting your entire energy and focus and power towards something regarding a paycheck, you're very lost. Okay? You need to look at yourself. You need to stop what you're doing. You need to put things on hold, and you need to look at yourself in the mirror and saying, am I loving what I'm doing right now? Am I loving who I am? No. Then what am I doing putting all this energy and this focus towards something that I don't prefer? I need to put everything down. I need to start looking into my mirror. I need to start bringing in positive reinforcement. So maybe I'll do something like the BCR technique. Maybe I'll start doing something like the silver lining agreement. Maybe I'll start working with light circuitry. Maybe I'll just start breathing and looking at what I'm doing and start writing it down and saying, this is not what I prefer. All right, so I have to atone for that. And in order for me to atone to that, what do I do? What's the 5 acts of manifestation? Feeling, thought, choice, action, leading into results, where synchronicity is in between. All right, so I need to bring in new feelings. I need to bring in new thoughts. I need to make new choices. I need to take new actions with love energy that is equal to or greater than the conflict I'm going through. And I make that happen. And now it becomes a result in my reality. And now I'm shifting myself because I'm actually doing what I actually love. I'm not putting myself through hell. Okay, that's it, guys. Simple formula. The science of the simple, as Adronis has always talked about. That's what you got to do. This is what I've been saying over and over and over and over again. You guys should know this already. Okay, if you guys are already subscribers on my channel, you've already watched, at least several of my videos, you know I'm talking about this, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, but you're fascinated by what I'm talking about, rather than binge watching Netflix, how about you binge watch my channel? That's just a bit of advice I can give you, okay? You guys have the ability to go as far and wide and as broad as you want to, but you have to realize that you're the gatekeepers here. You're the one holding yourself back. It's not anybody else. It's not your parents. It's not your friends. It's not your boss. It's not your coworkers. It's not them. It's you. You have to realize that, okay? Talked about this to death. You guys know what to do. You really do. You have to have the strength to move forward towards what you know you want, okay? Because that's what's going to make you happy. That's what life is all about. Do what feels right. Do what feels authentic to you. Follow that path. Okay, Cuda has a question for Athena. Athena, do you have any astral projection techniques one can practice? I have a desire to travel the stars and see what's out there and improve my contacts. Okay. Athena says, make a very strong intention before you decide to go to sleep. Make that intention so strong that your body will cooperate together in softening itself so that you can therefore phase out of your body as you move into a state of deep sleep. If you are unable to do this, wake up in the middle of the night, do a little bit of activity, go back into bed, and empowering that activity of intention towards yourself. As you go to sleep, feel yourself getting softer and softer and lighter, and feel this astral body coming out. Feel like you're standing up. Feel like you're moving up. Feel like you're rolling out. And if your intention is strong enough and your conviction is sincere, you will appear together into your astral form. And in that state, whatever your intention is based upon thought can therefore share together in our reality in kind. Okay? So this is, again, kind of common knowledge relating to the astral state. And basically, you're putting a very strong intention, a very strong conviction of what you want to do, but you're softening yourself. It's really kind of just going into that boundary between sleep and awakefulness, right? So you are therefore feeling yourself rolling out, you're feeling yourself standing up, but that conviction, that strong intention you have is paramount, right? That's the priority. And you're allowing yourself to become just very, very soft and just let your body be completely asleep as much as possible. One of the best ways to do this is to perform it in the middle of the night. Okay, I've had near astral experiences myself. I've had out-of-body experiences. But actually being able to go into the astral has been a little bit challenging for me. But I've had times where I can feel my hand, my astral hand moving out of the body and all that. There's a video course on YouTube you guys, I would recommend you guys look at, okay? It's a Michael Raduga seminar, okay? And it's called Leave Your Body in 3 Days, okay? That's what you type in on the YouTube search bar. Leave your body in 3 days, okay? And it's about the phase. That's what he talks about. Now, with what he has shared, his technique is excellent, okay? I've actually been playing with it myself as well, too. When I had astral projection experiences, it was a little while back. But I could just feel like my hand moving. I could feel like my leg coming out of my body and all that. But I wasn't able to get fully awake to make the full transition. But like I said, I've had out-of-body experiences, and I've had lucid dreaming experiences as well, too, which is quite similar. But it's basically the feeling of getting out of your body in that way. So again, this is what Athena is suggesting. It's just kind of making your body feel very soft, but make your conviction authentic and strong. And that is going to lead into coming into astral planes. So that's your own job. Your job is to become conscious as you allow your astral body to phase out of the physical body. And now you can make your intention happen, okay? But look into Michael Raduga's seminar, okay? Leave your body in 3 days. It's a 3-part video series, okay? Look into it. I highly recommend it. It is excellent, okay? All right, moving on. Hunter says, I've been having contact for the past 7 years. It started in dream state, and then it turned into physical, flying saucers above my house all the time. It's getting more physical by the day. Can you tell me your craziest experience you've had with the star family? I'm interested because the veil is thinning. I haven't had those kind of flyovers. I have had sightings in the skies, right? I have had actually Adronis appear kind of as a transparent being, and he was showing me light circuitry. He's done this a couple times with me. There's also been times where I've woke up in the middle of the night and I'm actually feeling like spirit just hovering over me, like a floating chakra, in that way. So I've had a few experiences in that way, but I do not have any real quote unquote conscious recollection on being on board ships or anything of that nature. If I have, I don't really have any particular memory. There have been some dreams I've had where I've been on ships and stuff like that, but it's not so much in the idea of what you would term as a contactee experience. A lot of my experiences all relate to the idea of going into the mind in that way, of working together with the mind, receiving these messages, and then I share these messages and they happen to come true, right? So it's more than just some particular type of random occurrence. But a lot of my information, a lot of what I receive is coming through different states of consciousness, different altered states of consciousness. It's not so much in my physical body I'm seeing these things happen. Like I said, I had Adronis appear to me a couple times in kind of a translucent state, and he's showing me light circuitry and all that. But those were some of the more extreme ones. But a lot of what I receive has been going into meditation, getting visions, getting dreams in that particular way, and just being able to tap into spirit and seeing what spirit has to share, and being able to apply these intentions to other people, for example, who may be sick or may be ill, and they're just becoming better, right? Because of a lot of these practices that I'm going through. Like I said, guys, there's nothing really special about me, okay? It's that I take this seriously. I'm very committed to this. I'm an Aries, okay? I'm a fire sign. We are all about change, okay? I'm all about changing. Some of you guys just don't want to change. You don't want to change at all. You think, yeah, I want to go into this new reality, but I won't have to do anything. Well, too bad. You're going to have to do something, okay? You got to have to want to change. And that's a very important thing, okay? If you guys are watching my channel and you want to know about how to move into these expanded states, you have to want to change. If you don't want to change, you're never going to get what I'm talking about, okay? It's not going to come to you. And you may want to go elsewhere for that, okay? This is for people who are very committed to change, who realize they don't want to be in that old paradigm Earth anymore. They want to start moving forward. They want to change. And for those of you who want to change, those are the guys, those are the girls that I want to talk to, okay? I'm not here for everybody, okay? I'm here for people who are ready to do their inner work, who are taking this seriously, who want to change. You're the ones I'm doing these videos for. Sorry, guys, but if you're not interested in changing, and if you think this is all hogwash, too bad. I'm not here for you, okay? And I'm not interested in helping you either. Simple as that, because I can't help you. I can't get through to you. But those who are willing to change, who want to make that shift, absolutely. You're the guys I'm here for, okay? That's the whole nature. I'm not here to work with the dead. I'm here to work with the living, okay? And I'm working with the living who are changing, who are serious, who want to move forward in this way, because you're the most receptive to what I want to share through spirit, okay? That's just the fact of the matter here. Okay. Here's something from Paul, and Paul's one of my students in the Spirit Ambassador classroom. The non-humanoid or insect beings, was Earth their home before ours? In terms of our alignment of spirit in terms of our alignment of service to spirit working with these beings, is this an issue of assisting humanity's acceptance? Well, yes, the entire star system is insectoid domain, okay? And it's basically been fought over by insectoids and reptilians for quite a long time in that way, but it primarily is insectoid jurisdiction. Some of them had treaties pertaining to the reptilians as well, too, that they could come in and they could do certain things. It's very, very complicated. But yeah, we are basically wards of the insectoid races. That's the whole idea, is that we are basically coming here. There was a whole permission slip for, this entire jurisdiction that was run by the insectoid beings for many of these quote-unquote creator gods to come in and perform a lot of these experiments. But Earth is really God's Earth. It's the best way I can put it. Everything pertaining to the universe is God's universe, right? You can't put jurisdiction on that. Everything really belongs to God. That's the nature itself. But yes, on that particular jurisdiction level, the insectoids have been in charge of this sector, as you could say, for millions and millions of years. They even dare say billions of years as well, too. Okay, I'm probably going to take one more question for Athena, and then we're going to wrap up. Okay, here's one for Athena right now. Athena, can you give us any info about the magnetar energies that I've heard are coming and supposedly coming in strongly on January 13? I have no idea what that is. Okay, so I really couldn't. I think we're going to look for another question. Sorry, and I don't know what you're talking about with magnetar energies. And she's not really getting it either. Okay. Okay, here's a good one I think that'll end for Athena. Bridging the Realm asks, question, is the dark trying to keep us in the 3D world through tricking us into soulmate twin flame connection and trying to convince we are in one? How do you know if you have found yours? She says this goes far beyond the idea of trying to connect with a relationship. This goes far beyond the idea of trying to connect with what you term as your significant other. It's not about that really at all. Those are certain agendas, but those are agendas within agendas within agendas. Much to the appropriate priority that many of these dark forces use is the aspect of keeping you at odds with each other, is to keeping you separate, keeping yourselves at each other's throat, so that when any of you bring about any revolutionary understanding, it is attacked, it is debated, it is destroyed. Which means these dark forces have very highly succeeded with the idea of many of you attacking one another, many of you being at each other's throats and actually utilizing your defenses towards a dark agenda, because you are actually siding much more with the dark forces because you believe that to be the gospel, rather than listening to the revolution of light. Rather than listening to loving exchange, you attack it, you assault it, you dismantle it, you demolish it. That's what you've been trained to do. You have been so dumbed down that if something different occurs within your reality, you must debate it to death. You must ridicule it. It is almost like you're being fed a poison when in fact you're being fed an antidote. You have been taught that the antidote to cure yourself has become the poison that you feel is going to impair you. This is what your dark forces have done. And they have created an empire upon this planet where the opposite, pertaining to what can liberate you, has become the norm. And many of you have bought into it so deeply that you will defend the dark forces agenda by ridiculing, by judging, by abusing, by hurting, by destroying everything that is meant to liberate you. That's what the dark force agenda has done. And there are many agendas that are behind that influence, like many of you have discovered. But you have spent so much time fighting on the wrong side. You ridicule, you fight with each other. As long as you continue to fight with each other, you're following the dark side agenda. You're not following a light. You ridicule, you fight, you attack, you assault by other people's revolutions where only their intention of goodwill comes forward, and you obliterate that. So you have been fighting alongside this very agenda-based system created by dark forces to keeping you at odds with each other, to keeping you separate, to preventing yourselves from going into the depths of love to transform this reality prominently. Because you are all gods, as you know. And your thoughts are the most powerful thoughts there are. Your emotions are the most powerful emotions there are. Your feelings are the most powerful feelings there are. And you use it towards a disadvantage pertaining to a dark agenda where they are feeding you all of this brewing of distortion, of disinformation, of misinformation, to feel that this is how reality works, and it is not the case. You have put so much of your energy towards an old system that has been created to impair every single one of you. And because some of you are unwilling to change, you see that as a religion. If somebody comes out with something new, they do not have your common credentials that you find within your manipulated educations, they must be attacked. If they do not share the point of view of what you would consider to be a popularized figure is stated about what reality represents, they will be attacked. You have been creating the very chaos that you are trying to transcend. It's all on you. So now it's about being able to turn all of this around. Rather than attacking, look to cooperate. Rather than separating, form a community. Rather than ridiculing, encourage and support. That is your ability to work past a dark agenda that has been upon this planet for a great deal of time. This is what we can share relating to your question. Okay, so that's what Athena wanted to share with you. Okay, that's a very big point. I could probably do a whole video on that. But I think we're going to end it at that for today. Okay, I really want you guys just to continue to work with Athena as well, too. If you're feeling a call to her and you want her to come through, like I said, please connect with her, okay? She's very loving. She's very open to many of you. You're communicating with her astral body, okay? So she can connect with many of you simultaneously if you feel a really strong connection with Athena. And the great news is I've had a lot of people that have come to me and said, Brad, yes, I've talked to Athena. Athena is so sweet. She's helping me out with a lot of things. And, I'm just getting kind of a public perspective from her about a lot of these things. But she has a lot to share with you guys, okay? This is, again, just encouraging you guys to go into this. And like I said, you don't have to take anything into my account with what I'm doing. Connect with her yourself. Feel how you feel relating to her connection with you. Okay, that's the most important part. So, again, you can use her image here as an example to connect, all right? So thank you, everybody. We're out of time for this transmission. And again, I'll be coming back, I'm not sure if it's next week, I think it's the week after next, I believe, for the New Earth Teachings webcast. I'm going to be in Orlando here on Friday next week, so it'll probably be the Friday following after that, where I'll be coming back for the next broadcast. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday, right? It's Saturday. Yes, it's Saturday. See, I don't even know the days of the week. For this Saturday, I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys again in another perspective. But now, take care.